At any point of time, if you feel uncomfortable with any question, you're free to not answer that, ask, not
No,
get
no,
into
no. And
that.
listen,
Up to
please
you.
be as tough as you
Yeah.
want here. Like,
Yeah. So this is fun. When you entered the family business, you had Shekhar Gupta as the editor-in-chief and the CEO.
I regret my statement of saying be as tough as you want. Immediately regret it. हाँ.
इसलिए मैंने just उसके लिए बोला आपको कि
No, actually, it's fun. We should do this because I've never, because nobody's asked and I've never spoken about it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did he make your life tough? And did he stop you from doing what you actually wanted to do, which you're doing right now?
Yeah, 100%. And look, okay, let's. I've always said I won't. There's no need to talk about this stuff because, um, it's in the past, and I don't. It's not. Yeah, I'm not very comfortable talking about ex-employees, but because it was a part of my journey, I can share. I'll share a few things, and we'll see where we go. I think a lot of family businesses, this is very common, it happens, that, the next generation steps in and there was an old guard, which is professional or which was working very closely with the previous generation, who's uncomfortable.
Rusi Modi or Ratan Tata?
So it's textbook. With me also, I guess it was textbook. Where I think it hurt me a little bit was the fact that I was very excited to learn from him. I came in looking up to him and I was like, Shekhar uncle, like I was like, I really was excited about working with him. And he was not. Very evidently he was not. He told me once, Anant, there's no place for you in Delhi. You stay in the Bombay office.
Oh.
He literally had no place to sit when I came in. And he, and literally I made place. I was sitting there was a small space outside the canteen in the passageway. वहाँ पे मैंने जगह आके बैठ गया. It was a business. The digital was a separate company. It's a separate department, and it was a separate P&L. And when Shekhar joined, and my dad was very, in a sense, hands off. So he was very invested in, making it comfortable for me to be in the company, but he also was hands off. So he was relying on Shekhar to make that transition happen. So when I entered, and I was never there to threaten, I wanted to work with him. I loved the guy. I mean, anybody who was in journalism, he is a fantastic journalist. So when I joined, he insisted I take a salary, right? A proper professional salary. And I was like, listen, a company can't afford it. So, for whatever it's worth, he was a great journalist, but he was a terrible businessman. So when I joined, there was no money. Honestly, I didn't realize how we were going to pay salaries. I forget how we were going to pay off debt to it. I said, salary kaise niklega?
But I just wanted to understand a little bit because a lot of my audiences would be generational businesses because this is relevant for anybody who's running a
100%
mom and pop dukan and inheriting that from the father and the uncle who would be doing their business and the MSME, the entire MSMEs of India, right?
100%. Look, I think this problem is there everywhere.
And this is a problem in many business families.
Put your head down and work. Had I got distracted by Shekhar fight and he said this and he said that, I would have only made matters worse. But I think, and this is something that one of my mentors, a guy called Ronnie Screwvala, he started a company called UTV, and I'm sure you know him.
Upgrad, I know him.
Upgrad now, yeah. And he's always, his solution to every problem that I would ever go to him, and his solution in life to every problem is put your head down and work. And it's so, it sounds so simple and it sounds so silly, but actually I think it's very liberating and it's true. Don't get caught up in the ego. Don't get caught up in the,
the entitlements.
And any of that stuff. Just work here. And work in a way where, karna hai. Then you automatically win respect. And you need to hire somebody. I hired 3 people. People have joined. Computers weren't getting sanctioned. I barged into his cabin and said, listen, man, I've hired 3 people. their costs coming on my head. I need to make it meet now. I can't make them productive because there's no computer. So can you please sanction these 3 computers? And he was very, he's like, ho jayega. And then like 3 months went and these guys are nothing to do. So was like, look, listen, I wasn't invited. That's the biggest thing. I wasn't welcomed in. I wasn't invited. Certainly he felt threatened. I don't know
Did you
why.
finally get your computers?
I got my computers with literally like saying, I'm not going to get bullied like this. And I literally like just went out, took my credit card and bought a computer and I put it in the office. I remember once in the newsroom, I opened a Twitter account, Indian Express's Twitter account. And in the middle of the newsroom, because the newsroom was a place of the middle, it was a lot of it is signaling and body language. And so I was walking in, I saw him, I said, Sheikh Uncle, kaise? And he said, Anant, why should Indian Express have a Twitter account? I said, yeah, what do you mean? We have to go where the audiences are, Twitter is a place of lies. The internet is a place of lies. So we should not have a Twitter account. We should just stick to print. And he stormed off. Now, all the people in the newsroom hearing that, they know that there's a rift now between the guy who's supposed to be pushing the digital agenda, who's the next generation in the family, and then the CEO who's saying, boss, I'm averse to digital. I'm averse to this whole endeavor because can you imagine not wanting a Twitter account? I mean, can you just imagine? So there are a lot of things like that happened.
It also splits the organization into factions.
Which I wanted, by the way. That was by design. I was very clear because I joined the company literally in the first 10 days. I said, listen, this is not going to work. I'm not going to be able to now move the entire ship to think digital or make them also do digital. So I said it has to be a small silo to begin with, where I want to be able to make my mistakes. I want to be able to get a dedicated team who is working only and only on this.